getting a sense that if you're here this evening with us, there's something that's brought you here, and there's something that's alive in you, and it wants an adventure, it wants a discovery, it wants to experience something. And I'd like for you to get in touch with that rather than with me or whatever I'm saying, because it's all about the Christ within you, or the truth within you, to emerge. So get in touch with yourself, and then let's see what happens. When I prepared for this talk, I don't want to just flap my lips. And so I did go to prayer and ask the guys of Celebrating Life Ministries what this was about. What does this specific group need to hear? What's the core of the message? And what I heard was, and I'm going to read it because that's how I don't want to botch it since it's not my words per se. So the message from Raphael, who is the main archangel or guide for Celebrating Life Ministries, Raphael was saying, we allow for a lot of power to lay dormant in our lives. When we give our spirit a stimulating task, it will go to heaven and petition for everything we need on our behalf. We're sitting on so much power that we will never experience unless we challenge it. Use it or lose it. And when I shared that with Padre just a few days ago, he exclaimed, "Oh my God, these were the exact words of Padre Ron Roth, who was a miracle healer and a channel for God." So I was like, okay, somehow I must be on track somewhere. That's a good beginning. So why venture into the unknown? Because if I'm asked, hey, do you want to go into the unknown? I'm going to think, hell no. I mean, why would I do that? I'd rather be on my couch, eat some popcorns, maybe a Netflix, or, be with my wife or pet the cats. But venturing in the unknown is not something that comes naturally, I don't think, for anyone. There is a bit of a movement. So why would we venture into the unknown? Well, the known is our territory. The unknown is God's territory. And to venture into the unknown is to enter God's territory. And so when we enter the unknown and we enter God's territory, why would we do that? Well, I think for most of us, it's clear. We want to have a deeper relationship with God. We want to discover who we are. And who are we when we are not in control? And that's the scariest thing. Because when we're by, ourselves in our comfort zone, we look really, really nice, nicely put together. But when we face the unknown, there's a lot of crap that gets illuminated, as well as all that beautiful power, that God made us to be, the beauty, the incredible resilience and qualities that are very divine. So venturing into the unknown is where we do our growth work, where we get to know ourselves. And if we dig deep enough into ourselves, what do we discover? God. Yep, no less than that. But then how do we venture into the unknown, in God's territory? What's the key? Jesus said, if only we had faith as big as a mustard seed, we would be able to tell the mountain, go into the ocean, and the mountain would do it. Well, I had an argument with Jesus because from my standpoint, I can see that we all have enough faith. We do have a grain of mustard seed of faith. We all have it. But the problem is, where do we direct that faith? Where is it being directed? So Raphael, again, gave me an acronym for faith and said that faith stands for facts are in the hands of. And whatever comes after of, wherever you put those facts into whomever hands you put them in, is going to determine your reality. And so if you put the facts in your life into the hands of worry or fear or lower self, it's not going to do much good. We're going to experience a lot of, maybe we'll be frozen. We can't venture anymore, or we run away, or we'll fight. It's going to be not a very pretty picture. But if we put the facts in the hands of God, for example, or the place in us, not the lower self, but that aspect in us that is divine, then great things become possible. And the venturing the unknown becomes an adventure that we would never want to stop, because it's the most beautiful adventure I could ever imagine. So we can create hell for ourselves when we put the facts in the hands of, our worry. And what happens when if we put the facts in the spirit of fear, for example, which is the worst, we start looking outside for help. We'll look at media to tell us what's happening in the world, or we'll look at doctors, today's science. But we rarely then start going within ourselves, because we don't believe that there's great power in us, that God deposited in us, a great spirit that needs to be mined in order to discover it. It takes a little bit of work. I like this quote by Pope Athanasius of the 4th century. And he said, "He became what we are, that we might become what he is." It's such a beautiful quote. He became what we are, that we might become what he is. And so let me explain this. He is, what is that? It's Christ. It's the Christ consciousness. It's divine nature became what we are, which is Jesus, the character, that we might become what he is, Christ consciousness. So someone came here, some wonderful being, called Jesus, and showed us the way, and being the way, and he showed us the way. And so that journey to become the Christ consciousness, to become what he is again, the highest adventure I could imagine. What Jesus showed us, being the way and showing us the way, is he showed us not to be afraid. He taught us to be courageous, to step into leadership, to believe in ourselves, that whatever Jesus did, we can also do. He's not, "I'm very special, worship me over there." He's like, "I'm a mirror for you. I am showing you who you are. I'm showing you your true nature. Remember? And with that type of remembrance, we can raise Lazarus or raise ourselves. So there's great power there. So we could say we can do this, but in the name of Jesus, or in the name or with the Christ consciousness, hence we all come from the Father, Mother, or however you want to call it, that universal life force intelligence that made us. With that power, all things are possible. And so I'm going to keep circling around that, because the facts in our lives, it's very important. Wherever we put them, where we place them, it's either going to empower us, whether we're facing cancer or a family drama or financial crisis or whatever that might be. It can either, in the spirit of fear, separate us and we feel weak. We go to fear, panic, terror, we're frozen, and we make poor decisions, or we can place it in the hands of God and see where it falls, see what God says about it. And it changes everything. It changes our perspective. There's a beautiful quote by Rumi also. And Rumi said, "There is a life force within your soul. Seek that life. There's a gem in the mountain of your body. Seek that mine. O traveler, if you are in search of that, don't look outside, look inside yourself." I like this quote by Yogananda, who said, "Realize that enough hidden strength lies within you to overcome all obstacles. Bring forth that indomitable power and energy." And so Yogananda is acknowledging that there is massive amount of hidden strength within us. That means, again, like Ruby said, we got to do some digging. It's hidden. It's not in plain sight. It takes a commitment, and it's not easy. But he's also saying, bring forth that indomitable power and energy. That means there's really an action. It's not about being, passively hoping for it. It's like, do it, bring it forth, whatever it takes. So when you have, a extreme amount of challenges, just know it's just around the corner. Just take off. This is your opportunity. It's happening right now. It's not in the comfort that you're going to take off. You need that thing to push against. And then you get to decide, okay, I'm doing this, with God or with the spirit of fear. It's going to look very differently, the outcome. Miracles happen with God. I'm telling you, I wasn't the first one to say that, but I've seen it. So once again, the power of prayer. Yes, exactly. Woohoo! I mean, it's just so beautiful to see. That's why venturing into the unknown is so rich, because that's where we lose control. We can't do it anymore. And that's where we become needy of something else. We become needy of what I call God. You can call it the cosmos, universe. I really don't care as long as you do it. Do whatever you want. But, it's that moment where we're like, well, this is who I believe I am. And then it's like, who I need to become is way bigger, than who I am right now. And so we open ourselves to a field where all things are possible, which is in the unknown with God. I'm a regular Joe, but I'm clear that I do want God more than anything else. I want to experience what God deposited in me, and I'm going to keep digging until I find it and let it completely radiate, out of my being until I look like Padre. That's like my goal, my ultimate goal. I like this quote, from Jesus: "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, not the cookies, not the chocolate cakes, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Yeah, so there's a peace that passes all understanding that comes when we get in touch with our divinity, with God. When we venture the unknown, to me, that's the only place that I can really experience God. We get surprised, and I discover God as a loving parent playing peekaboo with me, just like, here I am. And I just laugh like a baby for the first time. Like, so I just love playing this game with God. And in closing, I'd just like to say, I shared with you this big adventure about climbing a mountain, but every one of us is climbing a mountain right now, currently. I know from so many of you who are ill, who are facing cancer, who do have family drama or legal issues, things that are absolutely terrible, financial distress. This is your mountain right now. You're in the middle of it, and God made me a promise, but God made you a promise too. Take it one step at a time. Do like Ying did it, just put the cap on and just focus one step at a time. God will carry you. I promise you this. And you're going to discover in yourself resources that you never thought were possible that will unfold in you. And then you'll be able to own them and to start reliving from a new standpoint. The greatest adventure is the adventure of consciousness, and the return to the remembrance of God as our source, our truest identity, and the safest home that we'll ever have. So life gives us unimaginable opportunity to experience and to unleash the Christ within us, and to put all that divinity to work. And once we get a taste for it, there's no turning back, baby.